I am Pradeep Kulkarni, a retired banker having 36 years of banking experience and having a very rich academic qualifications, BSc, LLB, MBA and as well as CAIB. Okay, that's how the academic qualifications are, and I am in front of you today to deal with important topic of banking, and that's important for two different subjects of JIB. That is, one is legal and regulatory aspects of banking, as well as the principles and practice of banking paper. Both the paper, it is important. Okay, now let us understand what is that I'll be covering today. I'll be covering today on aspects relating to DRT as an introductory part, a historical background, then the legal provisions which are applicable to that, then which are all the areas of country this law is applicable, then why the DRTs and DRATs got established and who can establish them, and then number of DRTs, how the DRT functions, to what extent the claims are entertained, what is the pecuniary jurisdiction, what is the territorial jurisdiction, and how the structure and functioning of DRTs, and how the application to tribunal to be made, the process in a very few important steps I'll deal, and why the DRTs and how the DRTs need to be handled. This aspect also I'll deal. And let me take back to the very historical point, but before that, let's have a clarity that Narsimham Committee 1 is the recommendation based on which the DRTs got established in a country after passing or after enacting a law called as recovery of debts due to banks and financial institutions, commonly RDDBFI Act 1993. And to implement these provisions, the DRTs, or under these provisions, the DRTs got established. And then there is a Securitization and Reconstruction of Financial Assets and Enforcement of Security Interest Act, commonly understood by the people as Sarfasi Act 2002. Even Sarfasi Act also has got few provisions which are connecting DRTs. And thereafter, recently, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 was enacted. Even this Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 also makes a point that individuals' cases need to be dealt by the debt recovery tribunals, and corporate cases will be dealt by the NCLT. Now let's come back. What is the objective? The objective of DRT is expeditious adjudication, means very time-bound adjudication of the cases pertaining to the banks and the financial institutions, and more so the in view of significance of recovery of the dues, because prior to this enactment of Recovery of Debts Due to Banks and Financial Institution Act, the cases were piled up in the courts, and courts were having multi-faceted cases, and there was no specific court was available to deal the bank cases, and that's with that reason only the DRTs got established. Okay, and which are all the who are all the people who can just file the cases? Only the banks and financial institutions. Okay, only banks and financial institutions can take up, because DRT doesn't take up any other case. Only for banks and financial institution filed cases relating to recovery it entertains. And when I say the expeditious adjudication, DRT has got a limited period of time, that is 180 days to take up the matter. Okay, means to decide the matter. But a fact is that it can't happen like that. As usual, there also cases are piled up, getting delayed. The DRT, that this act is applicable, Recovery of Debts Due to Banks and Financial Institution Act is applicable all over India. All over India. And this all over India happened in 30th October 19. Prior to that, it was applicable other than Jammu and Kashmir. And as on today, 39 DRTs are there and 5 DRATs are there in our country. What I said, 39 DRTs and 5 DRATs.
Please subscribe, like, and share.
Okay, now let us now understand the structure of DRT. The structure of DRT is like, who established it? Who establishes? It is the central government. Central government establishes the DRT, and every DRT has got a territorial jurisdiction. Means what? The DRT has got a territory, and that territorial cases only can be filed, and all other courts, even though there are any cases, those courts cannot entertain the cases relating to recovery of debts due to banks and financial institution as per section 31. No civil court or no other authority has jurisdiction over them. Okay, and once DRT established, all existing cases are also required to be transferred to DRT. And in addition to this, there is a pecuniary jurisdiction. What I mean to say is money wise limitations are also there. So DRT entertains cases only of rupees 20 lakhs and above, inclusive of interest. That cases only are dealt, and not the cases below 20 lakhs are not entertained by DRT. Okay, then next is any debt. When I say any debt from any person, means a debt which is recoverable from the person, may be a borrower, may not be a borrower, may be wrongly given money to a particular customer, that account was erroneously credited and a person withdrawn. Even that also is considered as a debt. Whether it is secured or unsecured, that also can be taken up, and payable under any arbitration can also be taken up by the DRT. And payable under mortgage definitely can be taken up by the DRT. DRT also entertains, as I said to you, that DRT also entertains appeal against the bank's action under SARFAESI Act. SARFAESI Act, bank initiates action for taking the possession of the property of the secured borrower, and even in that case the borrower feels that he got aggrieved, then he can make an application to DRT, but he has to do it in within 45 days. And now DRT may ask 50% of the secured debt, that, and he may also ask the 50%, or the DRTs have got powers to reduce it to 25%. Okay, then DRT is structured as a one-man tribunal. Means DRT is nothing but a court. How many people are there as a judge? In the tribunal, only one, and his name is presiding officer. The one-man tribunal headed by the presiding officer, or he is the only person as there. And for that, eligibility criteria is also prescribed. What is the eligibility? He should be qualified to be a district judge. Okay, he should be qualified to be a district judge. His age should not be more than 65 years. He is appointed not for a period more than 5 years tenure. These are the three important criteria with regard to eligibility. Now next is other stuff. There is a possibility of one or more recovery officers, and there is a registrar is also there for the purpose of administrative matters. Okay, and then this is what the structure, and that earlier already we have discussed the number of DRTs and as well as the monetary jurisdiction. Now let us understand the application to this DRT. Section 17 tells the process. Section 19 talks about the jurisdiction. Application by the bank along with the fees. What is the fees? 12,000 for up to 10 lakhs, and for every more than 10 lakhs rupees, the 1,000 rupees. Like that, a maximum amount of fee is 1,50,000, and that's along with that, bank need to file a case. Other bank also can join the claim in case they have got a claim against the same borrower. Okay, but when they can join? Before issuance of final order by the DRT. And to do so, there is a prescribed format. In that prescribed format only it can be filed. And how it can be filed? It can be filed in person, or through an agent, or by a authorized legal practitioner, that is an advocate. And now recently eDRT process is initiated. Even online can be submitted, but within a specified period the physical papers are required to be submitted. Okay, even a registered post also can be sent for the purpose. And what is the requirement? 4 set of things need to be submitted. Application and all other documents which are in support of that need to be submitted. And then the process follows like this. There is a summons is issued. Once the case of the bank or financial institution admitted by the DRT, then summons is issued to defendant or respondent, and then the respondent gets 30 days time, and within the 30 days time he has to reply, and dependent on issue of the summons, he should not transfer any property which is already mentioned by the bank in the application. He should not part the securities which are already security interest got created in favor of bank. Okay, all these things are part of it, and there is every possibility that a defendant may make a counterclaim, and that counterclaim may be considered as a cross suit. Okay, and in case that cross suit is considered, they both may be considered together for the purpose of judgment, or bank may take a call and ask to consider the cases separately. If the defendant means customer, if the borrower admits the part of liability, bank may request for interim order, and if the interim order is requested, then the presiding officer may initiate or may take actions. He may pass an injunction order, means stopping, or he may put a stay on something. He may appoint a commissioner or receiver to manage the property of the borrower. He may issue a garnish order, or he may also pass order for attachment before the judgment, and then after that normally expected that cases need to be decided within 2 hearings, and that's how thereafter the case will be decided, judgment is there, and within 30 days of conclusion of argument, judgment must be given, and then recovery certificate will be issued by the presiding officer of the DRT, and then that recovery certificate is passed on to recovery officer, and this recovery certificate is as good as a decree of a civil court, and this recovery officer is having executive powers or executive orders, and to do so, recovery officer may proceed to recover under as per the procedures of civil procedure code, and or a direct person liable to pay a certified debt, or he may attach property, he may sell immovable property, he may pass an order for arrest or detention of the certified debtors, he may appoint a receiver, he may appeal, also do all that thing which powers are vested with. If any one person who is aggrieved with the actions of recovery officer, he can appeal. Where can appeal? He can appeal to DRT. Then within how many days? Within 30 days from the order date. Okay, so this is what all is the procedure relating to DRT cases, and as I told you, eDRT project has already been implemented in all DRTs, and therefore now e-filing, e-payment of fees, all that cost list generation, everything is possible under now electronically. Let us understand something more about DRAT. DRAT stands for Debt Recovery Appellate Tribunal. It is a one-man tribunal, and the head is known as chairperson, and there is a eligibility criteria for this one-man chairperson is he should be qualified to be a judge of a high court. Second thing, he can be a 3-person in a Indian Legal Services grade 1 for a period of 3 years, or he should have worked as a presiding officer of DRT for a period of 3 years. And in addition to this, there is an age criteria, a maximum 70 years, and his tenure is limited to 5 years. Okay, and what DRAT can do? DRAT can entertain one thing, that is an appeal against the orders of PO. PO means presiding officer of DRT. Appeal against the orders of PO of DRT as per RDD-BFI Act 1993, section 20 to 24 are provided for DRAT. Then appeal against the orders of PO of DRT in respect of appeal against the action of authorized officer under SARFAESI Act, that is section 18 and 19. Okay, that's how 2 different areas are being managed by DRAT. One is appeal against the bank's action which was decided by DRT, and person is not happy, he can go to DRAT, or otherwise a person, if he is not happy against the DRT's decision, he can go to the DRAT. DRATs have a jurisdictional authority over DRTs. Means what? DRAT can transfer a case from one DRT to another DRT within the overall jurisdiction of DRAT. And then next is section 20 is all about the appeal only against the order passed by PO of the tribunal. Then a time limit is within 45 days from the order of the DRT. Okay, means within 45 days one has to appeal. Then appeal in DRAT would be entertained only when the aggrieved borrower is approaching DRAT within 45 days, and also he has to deposit at least 50% of the sum passed by the DRT, and this amount can be reduced by the DRAT to the extent of 25%, but not to be zeroed. And naturally application to DRAT should be invariably made along with the fees. And in case someone has got an issue with the reviewing the order of the DRAT, and for that also there is a provision, and within 30 days one can file an application for review. Okay, I think very quickly we will have a sum up. DRT, recovery of debts due to banks and financial institution, 39 DRTs, 5 DRATs, pecuniary jurisdiction 20 lakhs and above. DRT head is presiding officer, district judge, and DRAT head is High Court judge and chairperson, and he should be qualified to be a district judge. He should not be aged more than 65 years. His tenure is 5 years. DRAT head is a chairperson. He should be qualified to be a High Court judge. Age should not be more than 70 years. His tenure is also 5 years. And appeal against the bank's action and appeal against the orders of authorized officer of DRT can be entertained by DRAT. And for that 45 days is the limit. Within 45 days, along with the 50% of the amount which is settled by the DRT, or it can be reduced to 25% by Debt Recovery Appellate Tribunal. And anybody wants to review the judgment or order of DRAT, 30 days period is there to review. Okay, and the summon to defendant to file a written statement is given 30 days, and further he has got a 15 days time extension, and the cases need to be disposed of in 2 hearings, 180 days. So 180 days for DRT and 6 months for maximum DRAT. Okay, that's how the recap of DRT and DRAT. Thank you so much for being very patient with me.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment. See you in next video.